Look at the size of the Yeti! Sorry. He may not be number one, but even 25 years later, there are few wrestling fans who don't know the Gimmick that you voted the number 4 crappiest gimmick in our poll. It's so bad that it's still used as a punchline today. Cock-a-doodle-doo, Terry.
Oh, no. That's my good friend there, Terry Taylor. I don't agree with that. I think Terry embraced the gimmick. I think Terry did a great job with the gimmick. I think the fans were behind Terry. I totally disagree with that.
That was just horrendous. That really was bad. It's almost like putting some talent, one of the most talented guys in the business under a mask and call him the Blue Blazer. I mean, come on.
Oh, God. I gotta think that was a rib by Vince. You know, they do that once in a while, you know.
A lot of times it's like personal ribs.
Rib? It's just a rib. Guy that can work, and, you know, probably was in Vince's ear every day saying, come on, man, I work circles around these guys. Yeah, but you got no character, you got nothing. Well, come up with something. All right, motherfucker.
Don't know, and I don't know why, because Terry was just a guy who was a great baby face and believable, you know, but he also talks a lot and gets himself in trouble, you know, over the years I know him, and I loved him.
I think that was more like a punishment than anything else for him.
From what I understand, Terry was such a pretty boy, and there was a lot of jealousy, and knowing how the wrestling business is, I think that was pretty much a rib. But Terry didn't sell the rib because he went out and he played it to perfection.
I think I like the Red Rooster. I like Terry Taylor, so I'm a little bit partial to Terry. I like Terry a lot.
I thought he was a great guy. He helped me a lot. He had tickets, you know, because back before 9/11, you could save your tickets if you didn't fly. They didn't deduct all that shit. They didn't charge you another $150. You could have like $3,000 worth of tickets because you didn't know something got changed or whatever. And, you know, I didn't have any money back when I first came to WCW, and, you know, we were going by. I said, come on, let's go by the airport. He goes, I'll fly your wife in for you. I got some extra tickets.
Oh, Terry Taylor's like a father to me. I can't say anything about that.
I don't like Terry Taylor at all. You guys don't even know that one. I do not like Terry Taylor at all.
I love Terry Taylor. Besides loving ECW, before I was in the ECW, I loved the UWF. Bill Watts UWF is one of the holy grails in my wrestling fandom. And to see Terry Taylor, who I was such a fan of, I mean, I love the UWF TV title. You know, that was the most, you know, people love artwork. You know, they look at the Mona Lisa. I look at wrestling belts. You know, Terry Taylor with the fucking UWF TV title. He's going to WWE. Fucking awesome. And why does he have a fucking red mohawk?
His wife, God rest her soul, she'd make lunches when we'd go like this, you know, from Atlanta to maybe we'd go to, you know, Anderson, South Carolina, or wherever it was a close couple hours. She'd make me, you know, a lunch with it. So, you know, for Terry, he was great, but he knows he sometimes talked too much and bury himself.
You know what? Terry Taylor came into the ring with the mane of a Red Rooster. And Terry Taylor is a fine, quote-unquote, scientific wrestler. He had never been given real gimmicks before. And to this day, in the 2000s, people just remember more than what a great wrestler he was, that he was the Red Rooster. But he really didn't, other than doing the Rooster gimmick, he didn't really do anything that differently in the ring. He was still Terry Taylor underneath, but he's never lived it down. People still remember him as the Red Rooster.
First of all, phenomenal wrestler. You know, really, really good wrestler, but very sarcastic kind of guy. You know, funny, dry humor in real life. But, you know, I think it was given to him more as like, you know, I'm going to give you this goofy gimmick, you know. And he rolled with it, you know, no matter if you liked it or you didn't like it, you know. The guy was a good worker on top of everything else.
Terry will be the first to tell you this. If he would have embraced it,
he would have made a lot of money off that gimmick because Vince liked it. Vince liked it. I don't know, and I think actually some of the people liked it too. And I think they might have liked it more if they couldn't tell that Terry hated it. When you look, you can tell if somebody's not into what they're doing.
He got it over. I mean, it was a rib, but the guy got it over. You know what I mean? I really didn't think that was that bad compared to what I'm going to say. No.
I don't think it hurt it. It might have like put a bit of a stigma on it or something. I don't think it hurt it in any way.
Dusty Rhodes was famous for this, and Terry Taylor did the same thing. Dusty Rhodes got the polka dots, which may be on this list too. Dusty Rhodes got the polka dots, and he said, you know what? They can put a diaper on me. I don't know the exact quote. I'm gonna make $1 million with a diaper on. Terry Taylor, Red Rooster, obvious punishment. Terry Taylor will admit to it. I'm sure you spoke to him on your series. He had sort of an attitude about stuff and everything, and that was kind of like, humbling him, and he made the most out of it. He tried to make money with the Red Rooster gimmick, and you got to credit a guy for that. Those are the inspirations, Dusty and Terry, for me, because, I was giving, look what I'm wearing. It's not on camera. It's Daisy Duke shorts. I was put in a lot of different positions, and those two guys, from watching them, it was an inspiration to say, you just got to make the best out of a supposed bad situation and try to get it over. It really taught me how to be, a real worker and try to really get a crappy gimmick over.
You do what you do, Was it silly? Absolutely. Has it been laughed at ever since? Absolutely. Poor Terry. No, I don't think that's a number 4. That's probably number 6.
Yeah, but you got to understand something too. I'm looking at it now as compared to looking at it then. It's like watching a 1980s video or watching the first episode of Sports Center. You know what I'm saying? It's a different day and age now.
I think there's a little bit more communication nowadays. I think you have input. I think there was a time in the 80s or 90s that everybody was clamoring for a job and I'll do what it takes, and that's a good attitude to have. But I think you need a bit of input. You can't be something you're not.
Back then, we used to get our booking sheets and our plane tickets all in a white envelope. They give them out like once a month. It was full of all your plane tickets for the whole month and the booking sheet showing what towns and everything you're in. Mine would say Tammy, and as a little rib to Chris, Chris would always be very, very insecure about his height. So whoever decided to do this on his little sticker on his white envelope with his booking sheet, it said Mouse, because they were actually tossing around the idea of him being a superhero like Mighty Mouse. And he flipped out when he heard that. He's like, I'm not going to be fucking Mighty Mouse. But it was all like, because he was short and stocky, he looked like Mighty Mouse. So because he threw such a hissy fit about it, on his sheet every week was Mouse. Yeah, so they liked to kind of get people where it hurts and pull those little inside ribs. So I don't doubt that Terry Taylor pissed them off in some way, and they did that.
Terry, I love you.
Terry, but I got to say this. It was a little story that goes behind it. It was a promoter in Georgia called Sammy Kent, and he wanted me and Mustafa to come to WWE and try out as the original recipes. And he was going to be Sammy, like Colonel Sammy, like Colonel Sanders. And we were supposed to do what you did with the and Terry, it wasn't happening, bro. I'm sorry, but that sucked. It sucked ass, man.
I have no idea I don't know the thought behind that. I've tried to think of that. Why Red Rooster? I don't know.
But there's no explanation. They didn't even give him feathers or a tail. The gimmick laid an egg.
In those days in the WWF, you weren't just a wrestler. You had to have something. And I don't think it was a punishment or anything. It's just, hey, let's make him a rooster. Okay, I'm getting paid this much. Okay, put the mane on me.
Some people say Terry's other choice was it was either the Red Rooster or the Mr. Perfect gimmick. There's only one Mr. Perfect, and Terry will even tell you that. So the Red Rooster gimmick, he would probably agree that it's one of the worst of all time.
I hear Frank Perdue's son's breaking into business. Would that fall into that category?